This was a question that got brought up on the radio station. You're in Dustin's former radio station, where also G. Bush and Tyvis can be found. Our guy Darryl Ryder mentioned that the Browns, in his opinion, should trade the 24th overall pick, or at least offer it to Houston, and continue the back and forth between Houston and Cleveland of quarterback deals. The 24th pick for CJ Stroud. Tyvis?
Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud, the fourth.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Would you trade one of the Browns' first 2-round picks?
The 24th pick? Of course I would.
The 6th pick. Would you do a 6th pick?
Yes.
G,
I know he was terrible in the playoffs, but
G,
I
would
would
you do the
for
6th
who?
pick for CJ
For Stroud.
Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud, the fourth.
Would I trade
The 6th pick.
one first-round pick?
The number 6 pick, yes.
I would. Darryl said the 24th pick, which is a no-brainer. Of course I would do that.
That's why I threw that out the window and upped it to the number 6 pick.
This is crazy, bro.
I don't think he was healthy in that game.
This year,
He was terrible in the postseason.
Yeah,
terrible.
What is these Madden trades coming from, bro?
Yeah.
What
They're not
is
trading
this?
him.
This is these is Madden
He
trades.
would never do this.
Why
never
would
do
you
Houston
give up?
would never do
Why
this.
would you give up your whole
I don't-
franchise
let me get this
for
right.
a Minimowski 20?
What?
Well,
No,
because-
even the 6th pick.
Texans fans are writing him off now. We would do the same thing.
No. But this
This
the
is
thing.
crazy.
Has he
Here
been to the
is-
playoffs
this
3
is
times?
a- this
He's
is
won
a-
12 games every year. He's
This is a
playing.
quote-unquote one quarterback
And he's won 3
draft.
playoff games.
Well,
He wants
Darryl
it every
brought
year.
up. I love
So
Darryl,
you
but this
just
is
go,
silly.
You punting on this season
By the way,
already.
What?
Wow.
Wait a second though.
What?
Gee, you're the leader of you're the resident leader of the Shadorians.
I mean, listen. I'm just a coalition of
The
like-minded people.
Shadorians would not want to make this trade
Of course not.
because
Yeah, of
they
course.
think he's better than him.
Well,
Well, they probably asked for him in the trade.
like this is
Okay.
this is crazy because
Yeah.
he just gave the Texans 3 first-round picks
There you go. Give him the.
and to let them put them where they at, and then we gonna go give them some more picks.
Yeah.
Oh, you saying you would not do that?
What I'm saying is, like we sitting here,
Yeah.
and I cannot believe that was a legitimate topic.
Darryl brought it up.
on
It
a
was crazy.
regular radio. Listen, you can say what you want
Yeah.
about CJ Stroud and how he played, bro.
He was terrible.
He was bad.
Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud,
but
the fourth.
nobody is giving up their franchise quarterback for some Minimowski
No.
early.
But we all do it, of course, in
Yeah,
theory.
like come on, man. Like come on, stop.
His middle name is Bernard.
Stop.
Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud, the fourth.
So where the heck did Jay come from?
I don't know.
Man.
Should it be CB Stroud?
This is, and here's the thing too, and here's the problem that
Yeah.
we be having. See, I've been saying this. The Browns be doing this every year. You got to put your own work in. You got to draft somebody, put resources around them, and develop them. Stop looking for the easy way out. Everybody trying to talk
But
about.
you got to do that with a first-round pick, which they never do.
No, you do it whatever pick you got.
No, because most of the good quarterbacks are first-round picks,
guess,
almost all of them.
but guess what? You can go to the most of them, or you can be Kyle Shanahan because he go and get what you can get out of him.
Well, they don't have Kyle Shanahan.
Well, guess what? They better find their own Kyle Shanahan then.
Well, what's more likely? Gee, what's more likely? Get a first-round pick quarterback who's good, or a late quarterback? It's rare.
This is horseshoes and hand grenades. Let me tell you something. You know what we found out?
Yeah.
You know what we found out here. And this is what happens to people in these playoffs. We found out, Dustin said it, he hit on it earlier.
Yeah.
The NFL is difficult. It's tough. You can have Josh Allen. You can have Joe Burrow. You can have Lamar Jackson. But you know what you need? You need luck. You need health. You need offensive linemen. You need defensive guys. You need receivers. I can go by. Oh, hold on. The big three, the big four.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is at home this year. Joe Burrow didn't even make the playoffs. Lamar Jackson didn't make the playoffs. Josh Allen lost to a team that, if you look at it, they were supposed to run through everybody.
Yeah.
But guess what? It didn't happen because football is difficult and you need people to do stuff.
Last year,
G,
Mahomes.
did you say yes or no you'd make the trade, though? Yes, you would?
Of
Or
course
no,
he
you
would.
Why- For a 20, like you just asked
dancing
me.
around the question.
No,
I want
ain't no
yes or no.
dancing. Would I trade a high second round pick for CJ Stroud? Of course.
Not high second round pick.
The number 6 pick.
6th pick. Yes.
This is wild work, bro.
It's wild work. By the way,
They need a yes or no.
by the way,
G.
Still waiting for a yes or no. Garrett.
Hold on.
yeah, yes or no?
Would I trade the 6th pick for a dude who has been to the playoffs 3 times? And yes, I would trade. Like, this is wild.
We finally got an answer.
No. This is blasphemous.
7 minutes and you finally gave us a yes?
No, I told you how wild it was to even start with.
Blame
Well,
Darryl.
we
don't
weren't
blame
sure
Mike.
which way was wild, like the idea, or you wouldn't do it.
The idea, the picks,
It
and the
took 7
ridiculousness
minutes to
of
get
it.
that
It is ridiculous.
answer.
Well, let me
we
ask
got
you,
there eventually.
You just people love when they want to, like, say, let's get a late round quarterback to bring up the exception to the rule. Because most of the
Well, we
best
could get Brock
quarterbacks-
Purdy, Adam.
Exactly.
Tom
Right?
Brady.
By the way, you mentioned all the quarterbacks that are not in, but you know what the 4 quarterbacks remaining have in common? And I'll include Bo Nix, even though he's hurt. They were all drafted in the top 12 of the draft.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
that works out.
And we're going to see Drake May in the Super Bowl, who was the 2nd pick in the draft, third. And then we're going to see either Matthew Stafford, who was the first
Or
pick,
Darnold, who was the 3rd pick.
or Darnold, who was the 3rd pick.
Okay, and Darnold just now got good.
Yeah, I hear you. And again, you're going to be better off betting on the rule than the exception.
Do you believe Sam Darnold's going to go to the Super Bowl before
I don't think
Lamar?
you think he's going to go to the Super Bowl?
They gonna beat the
Okay,
Rams.
whatever.
Yeah, he's in the championship
Let's
game.
assume he goes to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
He would have been to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen,
Yeah.
before Lamar Jackson,
And you ain't-
before Baker Mayfield.
And you ain't guaranteed.
Yeah,
and the point,
Same
surprising.
draft class.
the point is, you're not guaranteed. Oh, you got one of them. Cool. You got a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But we watched during these games, CJ Stroud. He's a good quarterback.
It's terrible.
Fumbled the bag. Josh Allen, good quarterback. Fumbled the bag.
Terrible.
Would that make? Hold on. Pause for a second on Sam Darnold. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold go to the Super Bowl and win. Would that make him the best quarterback out of that class?
No.
But
Just wondered, I was curious.
it certainly gives him a leg up right now.
No. Dude, football is a team sport. Sam Darnold is a product of. You see where his defense play?
Yeah.
He's
But
a
here's the
product
thing.
of everything.
In the end, you guys know this. It's going to be a Patriots-Rams Super Bowl. We all know that that's what's happening.
I don't know that.
And
rematch,
you're talking
actually.
about Matthew Stafford, a great quarterback, Drake May, an up-and-coming, really young. The Patriots, if you include the regular season, and I'm going to disparage them, it's unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway, have had the easiest schedule to the Super Bowl in the history of the sport.
The Patriots?
Yes, the history of the sport.
Wasn't they
They're
3-14
This is a
last year?
joke. Can we? The Bills.
They're playing
the-
Jarrett Stidham.
I mean, come on. The Broncos have no chance.
I wouldn't-
Zero.
I wouldn't. Nick Foles says otherwise.
Yeah, good. Again, the exception, not the rule.
Again, this is
Yeah.
this
You
is
think
the-
Jarrett
there's a
Stidham's
reason,
gonna win?
but to be fair, there's a reason. The spread's only 5.5.
the-
Odds makers are high.
that
Okay, then why
So you lay the points.
The bull doesn't bet anymore.
Yes.
but you
If
would.
your bet advice is to take the Patriots
Yes.
later points.
Yes.
when I watch these games, I watch these games and it shows you just how difficult or unpredictable this stuff is. It's the playoffs. One second, Caleb Williams is running backwards and throws one of the craziest passes we've ever seen, and then he comes back and throws an interception and the game's over. Like, guys,
DJ Moore. Was
The pick wasn't
concussed.
his fault though.
Yeah.
DJ Moore gave up on that route.
hey, he gave up on the route. Hey, that's why you need good receivers.
They have good receivers. Blew it.
They blew it.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to come out here and say, okay, I got this guy, so I'm in there. No, think about all the coaches that got fired and they had quarterbacks. Harbaugh had a quarterback. McDermott had a quarterback.
Yes.
And they still got fired.
Nobody's saying you only need a quarterback, but you have to have a quarterback.
So yes,
The rest of the stuff doesn't matter if you don't have a quarterback,
No.
in my opinion.
you
Have
have
a
to.
No
dominant-
team wins a Super Bowl with a bad quarterback
But-
anymore.
but-
It doesn't happen. You can't win
I
with-
know some people that'll tell you otherwise.
Oh, yeah, who?
The Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, stop it.
They would tell you otherwise.
I mean,
You want to debate how good he is? Fine.
I
You
mean-
can't say he's bad. He
I
wasn't
mean,
bad.
here's-
He's
here's-
bad now.
I'm just
I
telling
believe,
you.
here's what I'm saying. I believe that you can win a Super Bowl with a top 15 quarterback.
Sure, but not below that. And who's the last quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
That won? He was top 15. Come on,
I'm
Tyvis.
just telling you
It's
what
top-
they. I'm telling you what they told me.
But here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Because
You
if you go back and look at those stats, you gonna be like,
top 15, and then plus you gotta take in
But
consideration.
the lower you are, the more you need around you.
But when you
What
get
do you think about Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts,
I think he's back end of top 10. Or at least, this year he really
He
wasn't,
was.
but-
At that time, before
last
this
year,
season,
he
he was
playing
like
well,
top
but
six.
this year he did not have a good year.
but that's the thing. You got to assume that every quarterback is not going to have a premium year. You're going to be up and down some years. You're going to be, hey, I was great last year, but maybe you don't have a great year.
then that's
Right,
not a
but when's
great
the last?
quarterback.
Let me ask you this: when's the last time a team won a Super Bowl without getting great quarterback play, at least in the playoffs? Even if it was
Seattle Seahawks. I'm trying to tell you.
You are a hater. Why do you hate him so
look it
much?
up.
Hold on. Peyton
There's been a
Manning.
more recent one.
Peyton Manning didn't play
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, the
That was a while ago. now.
Russell
He did
Wilson
not play well in that
Russell
postseason.
Wilson didn't necessarily play that well.
Remember, he threw 50 touchdowns. and
Russell
he didn't
Wilson
even play at
played
the end
well.
of the year.
Come on now.
Go look it up. I said that.
And
Bull, what you
they
said.
ran the ball a
What
lot.
you said is exactly what I felt until they said,
Richard
go
Sherman,
look it
your
up.
boy Richard Sherman's
And I
a hater.
said, I looked
He's
at
a
them,
hater.
I looked at them stats and I'm like,
So
yeah, you ain't
So
wrong.
you look at some of these
kinda
teams.
They don't like him because he's corny.
Okay.
Caleb Williams was not a top.
I like Caleb
He wasn't no top 15 quarterback last year.
No,
Last
But
year,
guess
no.
what they did this year? You know what they did?
he improved. He's a second-year player.
No. They greatly improved around him.
Offensive line.
Offensive line greatly improved. Running game greatly improved.
He also played a lot better.
Well,
Come on.
You look at his numbers. Take a look at his numbers from
coach
2024 to
kinda made that.
2025.
Coach kinda matters,
The,
too.
the numbers
The
are
offensive
comparable.
line and the coach
And
made
the
a
coach.
huge
And the
difference.
coach, they did a great job
Right,
of
but
putting things around him.
I agree, but in the second half of the
And he
year,
got a great quarterback coach. Shout out to Joe Thomas Barrett the fourth.
second half of the year, he played
Go
much
Bucks.
better. He played great.
I think again, we inflate when quarterbacks play well. We give them all the credit, but we also give them all of the blame when they don't play well. But you have to look at the details.
Except for Shador Sanders. When he plays terribly, the Shadorians give him credit. For
I tell
playing
you
well.
what, CJ Stroud threw some passes that made Shador look pretty good.
Well, about that, so we can put a
Yeah,
poll.
Yeah, right.
I was
Uh,
like,
we
CJ.
put a
Did
poll
you
in
see
the
the
chat.
conditions
It was
in the first
bad.
half?
Yeah.
But he's still
the
terrible.
Drake May
was
wasn't that good
bad.
either.
Drake May didn't look that good.
No.
Yeah, Drake May hasn't played great in the postseason.
I mean,
He has not.
So we put a poll in the chat, by the way.
Yeah.
About would you trade the number 6 pick for CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
They said no.
And I'm going to let Anthony read the results so you know
They
that
said
there's no
no.
lies. Anthony?
80-20 no.
Why is it that
Our
I
fans
can't lie,
are
but you
prisoners
can?
of the moment.
All right, guys, the results of our poll. Would you trade the
80-20.
number 6 pick for CJ Stroud at just over 800 votes? Yes, obviously, is 45%. No, Shador is better, 55%.
The poll said no, Shador is better.
55%, yes. No trading for CJ is the answer.
You
from
said our
chat.
audience is getting smarter.
Hey, man, they see potential in Shador.
55% of our audience said he's better than CJ Stroud.
You know they going off a recent performance.
The guy's thrown for 10,000 yards in his career and has won playoff games.
That's crazy, Tyvis. Just admit that's crazy. I know you don't like saying anything bad about anybody.
Hey, look.
That's crazy.
Hey, look, man.
I'll say it for Tyvis since I
go-
have to speak for Mike. It's crazy.
They
mean,
going
come on.
off of recency stuff. Like, you're
but-
only as
but
good as your last performance.
That's why it's ludicrous. The question in itself, I don't even know what I'm like, bro. We ain't got a coaching search to talk about. CJ,
No, this is more crazy. The fact that more than half the people that voted said they'd rather have
See, Shador.
Shador.
You know,
All right, well,
but you
listen.
know how many fans of Shador watch our show?
well, here's the
Okay,
thing.
we just got 800 votes, and over 400 votes think that Shador is better than CJ Stroud.
Hey, that's people's mindset. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. And when I talk about it and look at it, I think CJ Stroud is a great quarterback. I think he has a great track record. Also, I do think Shador Sanders is worth building around. So of course people go not say that. Oh, listen, we think he's garbage. Now, if you ask that question, think about it.
Yeah.
If you ask that question to say somebody like Cam Ward, like if you was the Titans, and you
Yeah.
ask that question to Titans fans, what would you think Titans fans will say?
I said they would make the trade. They'd be less likely, and I could understand that, but
If it was Jackson Dart, what would you say? What would you say in New York with Jackson Dart?
I don't think you would trade right now Jackson Dart for CJ Stroud.
So, there it is. So all right. So Jackson
that's a
Dart,
little prisoner of the moment.
but Jack, that's their man.
But here's
But that's
the problem.
one first round pick quarterback
Yeah.
that was a rookie this
It's
year.
also the way you worded the question. You said Shador is better. Jackson Dart's not better than CJ Stroud.
No.
No, he's not better.
So
you might like his upside more.
Yes.
But those people that voted yes were saying he's better.
well, they like his up. Well, okay,
Well, he's not better.
Well, I'm saying they like his upside, right?
Right, but it wasn't who. It
Should we
wasn't,
just make the poll? Who's
Yeah.
a better quarterback, Shador or CJ Stroud?
Well, that's what you basically asked.
Well, do you want me to make it so
Nah, I
there's
mean, what's
no...
the point now? We understand. Hey, listen.
CJ Stroud is a really good player. I think Shador Sanders has potential to be a really good player. The biggest difference between the two is CJ, you can literally turn tape on and watch full games of CJ. He did it against us. And our defense was like considered to be one of the top in the NFL.
Killed us in that game.
We shredded them. So when you see stuff like that, Shador doesn't have those moments yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Not saying that he can't. We just haven't seen it yet.
No, nobody would. Nobody that in football, when you looking at the tape, say, "I'm going to take 7 games versus this man's 3-year career." That's crazy.
And CJ Stroud was a much, much higher prospect coming out of college than Shador.
If you asked every team in the NFL, including the Browns, you said, here's your choices. You could have CJ Stroud or Shador Sanders in the 6th pick in this draft. No team would choose.
They would take CJ Stroud.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
Every team in
by the way, most teams would trade their current quarterback for CJ Stroud.
Probably 18 to 20 teams.
Yeah, like that's just a
That's
a
most.
no-brainer.
Just most, the majority would. Yes.
But here's the thing:
Everybody just think about this last performance.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, oh yeah, he's terrible.
They were playing in sleet, and it was like a hurricane with sleet.
Hey, and then but you get Shadorians and say, hey man, it was a nasty game. He threw for 360 in a nasty game. It was win.
Cool. Did they do it in the playoffs?
Hey, that's the
That was
difference.
against the Titans.
That's difference. That's levels to it, right?
There's definitely levels.
But here's what we always say.
Yeah.
Any quarterback, right? We look at these numbers. I was looking it up. I said, listen, people in Philadelphia don't like Jalen Hurts. People running around talking about Lamar Jackson is washed. People talk about
No Ravens fan is saying
That's
that.
a
No,
lie.
no.
I got a homeboy that's a Ravens fan,
he's a
and he
dumbass.
said he want to move on from Lamar Jackson.
Cats is out
We'll take him here.
tripping.
Can we trade the
He
6th pick for
said-
Lamar Jackson?
You said
My boy Chris said
Cats
he
are
will
tripping.
move
You're right.
on from Lamar
People,
Jackson
when it
today.
comes to quarterback
that should be a
conversation,
new show. Cats are tripping.
Cats
I
is
like
tripping,
that.
bro. Like people is literally when Joe Burrow got hurt a couple times. Oh, I'm like, bro, man.
Yeah.
You come on, fellas. Like, is everybody super washed and super garbage? Like,
No, there's gray area, and the thing that's crazy to me is that everyone feels like these quarterbacks like have to be the MVP every week.
every week.
Yeah.
Like these, do you understand that Joe Burrow and Allen and Mahomes and they don't throw for 303 touchdowns every week and no picks. It just doesn't happen.
When I just don't like when people's leaning on every throw. They be like, oh, he missed a guy.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
Look, the reality is no one here can say for sure that Shador Sanders is not going to become a better pro than CJ Stroud one day.
Sure,
It might
it's
happen.
possible.
It's certainly
I think it's
possible.
possible.
But there's nothing you can say right now today to definitively back it up to say that he's better now.
No,
You
it's
can't-
impossible.
You sound silly.
Yeah,
You can't do that. Why, how would I? You asking me if I knew that, I would go get lottery tickets and
Yes.
I wouldn't be working nowhere. Like if you can look
You're
at
like Marty
7
McFly
games,
out here, man.
if you can look at 7 games, you'd be like, ooh, greatest of all time. You can't. I can't say that, bro.
Yeah.
I need some more games and opportunity. And by the way,
Silly.
when you watch these other games, you couldn't, as a Bills fan, you told yourself, man, I'm coming into this game. This is the best chance we got
And then
to
they
come
blew
in
it.
here. And then you got into the game. Everything is funny and you could prognosticate until the second quarter hit. And then all of a sudden, you down 10-3. And you're like, ooh, we ain't moving the ball so well. This is going to be a long fight. Yeah. These games, I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. And then I was looking like, man, they're kind of struggling a little bit. Guys get hurt a little bit.
I was nervous about the Jaguars game. They barely beat those guys on the road, and then they got to go. Then they got to go on the road here again. Like it was a tough spot. They should have won. I think that they were the better team, even though they committed 5 turnovers. By the way, no one ever wins committing 5 turnovers.
Yeah, you don't.
It's impossible.
That was the weirdest play. What did you guys think about that play?
Which one?
The
The interception that got pulled out of his hand.
Listen, here's my thoughts. And we were a fan. Like we were my son's in tears after the game.
Yeah.
So like this is from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
I could go either way on the call.
It could have gone either way. Yeah.
Just can we like be sort of on the same page with other calls that are similar? Like is he down? Is it a catch? Is it go to the offense? Is it simultaneous? Like there was nothing. And why don't we stop the game to make sure we got it
so
right?
weird.
And McDermott did the right thing by calling timeout, at least to make everyone at home watch it again.
It was weird because what's his name, the referee that's
Sterator. He acted like he didn't know what he was talking about.
Well, Sterator said it was obvious that he didn't have control of the ball. It wasn't obvious to me.
No.
I thought that was a catch by the offense. I didn't understand that call. The Bills probably win that game if that doesn't happen.
They catch that. They kick a field goal the next play.
That